My parents divorced when I was 2 years old. I was raised by my mother. We lived in an apartment in Kansas City. I didn't realize the environment was a drug culture until I was an adult when my mother told me. I learned that she was quite involved with that lifestyle as well. I remembered that she had several boyfriends during my childhood that helped to support us. When she became pregnant with my brother, she gave up everything overnight. We moved to a different apartment, and my brother was born. I helped my mom with my brother until one day I moved in with my dad into his apartment. This gave me the opportunity to spend more time with really close friends of ours, the O'Donnells. They had a young girl, her name's Lindsay, that's just about 2 months older than me. We actually spent most of our time together. We were like brother and sister. And one day, when I was 10, she told me that I'd go to hell if I did not believe in Jesus. And it scared me enough to go through the motions of becoming a Christian. I lacked a level of discipleship with that church, in that I ended up just being a Christian by name only, because I knew no better. A few months later, we found out that my mom was evicted from her apartment. My dad offered to help her and my brother, and she moved in with us. Well, this caused my dad to get evicted from his apartment because he had too many people living there. So the four of us moved into a 3-bedroom townhome in a nice neighborhood in the same town. My mom was working at a gas station when she met her future husband. Soon after she got married, my dad and I moved into a smaller apartment across town, and I started high school. Now, in high school, I told people that I was a Christian, even though I was just one by name only. A female classmate of mine in my math class caught my eye, and I got up enough courage to ask her out on a date. And she turned me down, but not by saying no. She just had something else to do. So that gave me enough courage to ask her a second time. And again, she had something that she was doing, and she was unable to go out with me. So she didn't say no again, so I tried one more time, and this time she invited me to go to a youth event with her church at a neighborhood church as well. I went with her to the event, hoping to score some points and eventually be able to actually go out with her. When we got there, it was my first experience ever seeing a band playing worship music. I really enjoyed it. And they introduced the speaker. His name was Eastman Curtis. And I'm not really sure what he said that night, but at one point during what he was saying, he asked everybody to come forward that needed to prayer for healing. And I didn't know what this meant, and I thought, it's not me. And the next thing I know, I was standing in front of the stage, and I looked around and said, well, all these people are praying, so I'll fold my hands and we'll see. So I folded my hands and I said, Dear God, there's something, physical healing, let's see. Oh, yeah, how about, God, would you heal my eyesight? The next moment, I felt, the only way I can describe it is a waterfall fall on me in my spirit, and I just felt this peace that came after this flooding experience, and I felt like God told me that He would give me spiritual eyesight. I was ignorant to what this meant, but it did birth a hunger for me to find a church to be involved in. So I looked around for churches and eventually ended up in the same church that this girl went to. And they discipled me, and eventually they sent me to their church plant in St. Louis, and I was able to serve for a year at that church, and I was spending 40 hours a week working in an office, studying theology, and doing practical ministry around the church, including painting their tape room, or helping run the youth, helping sound, set up sound, and anything else that they needed, really. After the year team, I was able to finally go to college. And I did spend 4 years in college, greatly enjoyed it. I got out of college expecting to go from my undergraduate straight to my master's and get out there and start teaching, because that's what my passion was to teach. I wanted to have a classroom of young kids and help them to change the world. And life happened. I ended up with a job, and some things happened where I wasn't able to go to school. I was accepted to college, but it was going to cost a lot, and I couldn't afford it, so I continued on, and eventually ended up in a pretty good church in the Westport area. Met my beautiful wife, and we got married, and then felt the call of God to become a pastor. So I started seminary, and now I have 2 wonderful kids, and God is just continuing my path. Thank you.